Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and up here today with part 4 of the PlayStation 2 collection. Keep this intro nice and short, but yeah, it's actually got one whole shelf here actually, so it's nice. The bookcase is a bit all over the place really, to be honest. Some shelves are only can support one line of games, other ones can support two on top. It's just a bit all over the place, but still at least we can get one whole shelf done here today. It should be like E and F here today, so there might be some continuity. But let's just get straight into it. Up we have iToy Play. Of course, I don't have an iToy, but I remember this game as a kid. It was pretty fun. Little mini games, and of course seeing yourself on the TV and stuff like that. Of course we have the Wii and the Kinect and stuff like that, and VR today, but you've got to think that the iToy helped create this whole VR in some senses, and you know, stuff like that. But iToy Play was a pretty fun game for the time. We have iToy Connect, much of the same, but this is all based around fitness. So, yeah, a fitness game on PlayStation 2. There truly was everything. Fight Night 2004, a series that a lot of people are asking to come back because it was considered to be one of the best boxing games you could have back in the day. They were considered to be really good in the Fight Night series. I've never played a little bit of it when I was a kid. I think actually I watched my cousin play it, actually, tell a lie. Then we have Extermination, a sort of horror game, I believe this is. I like the style, the cover style, almost like a foily purple colour here. Don't know how good the game is. I don't know if it plays like a Resident Evil controls, I'm not too sure. Then we have Evil Dead, A Fistful of Boomstick. I believe there was also a Evil Dead game on the Dreamcast. But yeah, I remember playing this one. It's an okay game. Never really watched the Evil Dead movies or the show. I will get around to watching them because I hear they're pretty out there, crazy things. Then we have Everybody's Golf, a Sony branded golf game. This is if you want to play a golf game but you don't want it to be too serious and a bit arcadey. Everybody's Golf is a pretty good series, and there's plenty of them on PlayStation consoles. They're pretty fun, you know, almost good co-op multiplayer games, of course. Lots of unlockables and whimsical things to have. Then we have Cricket 07. It's weird that the only other game had Cricket 2002 and then Cricket 07, and there might be a 5, but I don't know why EA didn't do like a yearly cricket thing like they did with all their other sports games, but maybe it was because this was only merely more of a PAL thing like Australia and the UK, of course. Cricket isn't really big in like the US and Japan, so. Then we have Rugby 2005, another sort of series that EA did on the sidelines, but rugby games didn't really come out as frequent. There are plenty of rugby games, but they're not as frequent as any NFL or anything. And we have Fight Night Round 2. Another boxing game. Plenty of boxing games, Create Your Champ, stuff like that. The graphics back in the day for these games were fantastic. It was really something to behold. Then we have Everblue. I'm not entirely sure what sort of game this is. I think it's like a exploration, adventure underwater game, I guess. Looks kind of interesting, actually. I'm actually not many underwater games on the PS2. There are a few, but not as many as something. iToy Play 3. I only really played the first one, but of course there's plenty of stuff on here. I will get an iToy at some point and try some of these out and just see if it holds up. Then we have iToy Chat. So this is basically Skype before Skype. Or iToy Chat Lite, should I say. Yeah, free video mail, invitation only. I could imagine this was actually kind of unique back in the day. Probably doesn't work anymore. Over 100 hours of live chat. But yeah, that's a pretty cool piece of history there. It's kind of like, you know, like the Dreamcast internet. Not really a game, more of a piece of history. ESPN, NHL 2K5. There are a few ESPN games out there. Of course, more released in the US than the UK, of course. Aragon, made by Sierra. I haven't. I might actually. I think I tried this out on the Xbox 360. It's an average game based on a forgotten movie. I believe it's also a book. International Track and Field, a Konami sports game, also part of an ESPN things. I don't know if Konami did all of the ESPN games. Some of them they did. Of course, athletics and things. Not really an Olympics game, but similar. Then we have Eagle Eye Golf. 8 out of 10. Wonder what makes this game so good. I don't know what makes a good golf game and what doesn't these days, but I don't mind playing a golf game here and there because they're just quite relaxing games. I prefer a bit of an old school golf game. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. This was actually, ironically, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie I ever watched. I went and watched it in the cinema with my mate. Obviously, I've seen them all now. The game is average as a movie game can be. Not as good in a Disney series. Disney are known for making some pretty good games, especially in the 16-bit era. Of course, Aladdin and Lion King were considered to be some of Disney's finest work. The Haunted Mansion, another Disney movie that's long forgotten, of course, but still, I believe Eddie Murphy's in this film. I do like a bit of Eddie Murphy, he makes me laugh. Dog's Life, kind of an interesting game actually. You play as a dog, and you do these things. You go around, like you can track scent and do quests. It's basically the most dog simulator, almost. Actually a pretty interesting game. It's nothing special, but it's pretty interesting. Then we have Dodgeball, kind of like the Super Dodgeball games on the Super Nintendo. Actually a pretty fun game, really light-hearted and fun to play with friends. Definitely a good game to have a bit of a laugh with. Then we have Disney Pixar's Cars. It's just called Cars, but on the spine it's Disney Pixar. Yeah, the Cars games, like I said, are pretty good actually. They're not that bad of a game, and of course I love the movies. I still think the original Cars film is the best one. The second one was a big letdown, and the third one sort of brought it back, but will never be as good as the original. Donald Duck, Quack Attack. Of course, an Ubisoft Disney game. So Disney didn't keep their license to one company. They sort of gave it out. I believe this is like a Crash Bandicoot clone. And if that's the case, I can't really say anything bad about Crash Bandicoot, really, can we? Downhill Domination, often considered to be one of the most hidden gems you ever play. It's kind of like SSX, but with bikes almost. It's a really fast game going downhill. I don't know, I might have played it. I can't remember if I have, but I always see this one coming up in Hidden Gems video. It's a really fun game. Disney Pixar's WALL-E. I actually haven't seen this film, so don't know how good the game is. I haven't seen all of the Disney films. Then we have Deus Ex. I believe this is the console version of the original Deus Ex. Of course, a series in its own right. Of course, you know, almost open world with some sort of RPG elements and stuff. Really, really good series. I just haven't really played them, to be honest. Then we have Destroy All Humans. They are doing a remake of this game. I don't know if the remake is going to be a complete remake or a remaster or something, but this game is pretty hilarious. The second one's more open world. The first one's more of a linear kind of game. We have Formula 1 04. Now be aware with these Formula 1 games on PlayStation 2, there are Sony branded Formula 1 games, and then there's EA ones, I believe, and so there's plenty of... So if you come across like Formula 1 04, there might be another one that's called 04, but it's EA. I think this is Sony's one, it doesn't say. Studio Liverpool. Oh yeah. I've never really played many Formula 1 games these days. There's so many of them, it's unbelievable. Formula 1 2003. This is the Sony version, of course. Even CX have the decency to put Sony on there. And Formula 1 2001. This is a limited edition version, which comes with a bonus DVD official review disc. So yeah, nice little package there. Of course, I don't know if this game only came out with this limited edition version or what, but it's not really an expensive game, of course, as is the case with a lot of old racing games. Let me get into some FIFA games. We have FIFA 2001, and yeah, FIFA 2002, but it has the PlayStation 1 version of FIFA 2002 in there. I don't know why. Someone pointed that out to me years ago. And then we have another copy of FIFA 2002, but with FIFA 2001 in there. I don't know how they made that mistake, but whatever. 007 From Russia with Love. It's an okay 007 game, third person, but the good thing about this game is you play as Sean Connery's 007. F1 Championship, Season 2000. This is the EA version of the Formula 1 games. Plenty of Formula 1 games out there for you die-hard fans. Flat Out 2. Flat Out games are pretty fun, but they are pretty challenging. Arcade racers with some Demolition Derby aspects and lots of mini games and things. They're fun games, but they are quite challenging, I will say. Ferrari Challenge. I believe this was a Dreamcast game originally, or this might be an updated version of the... Ferraris actually are my favourite supercars. I'm a Ferrari guy. Everybody's Tennis. Of course, the Everybody series also worked on other sports. Of course, tennis. This might be a bit more like that Smash Court tennis game on PS1. Evergrace, an Ubisoft RPG. Yeah. To achieve grace, you must first defeat your fears. EOE, Eve of Extinction. A sort of action hack and slash game. I believe this game is... Some people like it, some people don't. It's considered a bit monotonous, but then again, what hack and slash games aren't? Enter the Matrix. Absolutely love this game growing up. Played so much of this game. It's a really good movie game. It's better than most movie games. Yeah, it does have its flaws, but it's a very memorable game from the PlayStation 2 library. England International Football 2004 edition. I don't know if this is the Codemasters one. It is a Codemasters one, so they didn't just do club football, but they also did international football. And I don't know if that's the only one they have. There might be other country ones, but I know that's the only one there is for England. Endgame. This is a on-rail shooter, kind of like a Time Crisis or something. Ed, Edd n Eddy, The Misadventures. Of course, I'm a big Ed, Edd n Eddy fan. Probably one of my most favourite cartoons. And yeah, they did have a couple of games. And this was actually kind of hard to find on PS2, because when you look it up online, the only one you can really come across is the GameCube version. So I was actually quite happy to find a PS2 version. Eternal Ring, another Ubisoft first-person sort of dungeon crawler, I guess. Kind of like an old-school RPG. Fantavision, kind of like Boom Boom Rocket, if you ever played that game on thing. I believe this was a launch title or an early title. It's of course a rhythm game with fireworks. Probably lots of nice colours in there, but not good if you don't like that sort of thing. Fantastic Four, based on the terrible movie, and as for the game, I don't know how good the game is. And then we have the dreaded sequel, Rise of Silver Surfer. Ironically, I actually played this on Wii, and I can't really remember too much about it, but I'm assuming it's kind of like the sort of Marvel Ultimate Alliance game style. Family Guy, the video game. Family Guy's had a couple of video games, and they're not amazing, but they do sort of take after the show quite well. Lots of like crazy hijinks and things like that going on. I did actually like the one on Xbox 360, but it's actually quite rare now, actually. It's quite expensive. Formula 1 2005, the Sony version, of course. ESPN Winter Games, X Games, snowboarding. Family board games, Liquid Games, includes just some chess and things. Not really anything special there. Fahrenheit, the game that sort of started off this whole Quantic Dreams. You know, Quantic Dreams, they also made, you know, the Until Dawn games, I believe, and I don't know if they did Until Dawn, but you know, like the Beyond Two Souls, these movie cinematic games, of course, with choices and things. This was the sort of first one to start it off. It's called Indigo Prophecy for you guys in the US, and I've never played it, but I hear this game is a really good cinematic game. It's all about something to do with running from your past, killing someone. I don't know. Guitar Hero rocks the 80s. Lots of 80s music here, of course, with you know, Holy Diver. Gotta love that song. Holy Diver. Gun Griffin Blaze. I do have 2 copies of this for some reason. Another mech game there. Guitar Hero 2. You can use a normal controller with this. So, for those of you who want to know what Guitar Hero games you can use a normal controller, you can do it on Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, and Aerosmith. They're the only ones that you can use a normal controller on. Gunbird Special Edition. Gotta love me some good old-fashioned classic shoot-em-ups, or shmups as they're called. And yeah, I do like getting these games. Ironically, I found this in a charity shop. I believe this game is about a £10 game, so I was happy to find that. Rocky. Of course, Rage. Made by Rage. This game will make you fucking rage, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a boxing game. What more can you say if you're a fan of Rocky? Before we had Red Dead Redemption, we had Gun. Actually made by Neversoft. You did the Tony Hawk games. This game is actually a very good game for its time, and it don't hold up as well as you know, Red Dead Redemption does. But if you want a good old-fashioned Wild West game that isn't Red Dead, check out Gun. Then we get into some Grand Theft Auto games here. Liberty City Stories, originally on the PlayStation Portable. Kind of like going back to Liberty City from Grand Theft Auto 3. Of course, Grand Theft Auto 3 as well. I remember when I seen this for the first time, my older brother rented it, and I seen it for the first time, and I was blown away by just how amazing it looked. Just the full open world and all of this stuff. Then we have the very much loved Vice City. Often this game is considered to be the best Grand Theft Auto game. It's torn between this and San Andreas. I think I prefer San Andreas a little bit more, but Vice City is a must play. And by the way, these 2 games are available on the PlayStation 4 store if you want to download them digital. Gran Turismo 4 Prologue includes a bonus DVD. Kazunori Yamauchi, of course. Gran Turismo is an absolutely beautiful racing simulation game. It's some of the best driving you'll ever have, and the graphics on PS2 are fantastic. And Prologue's not really a full game. It's more so what they released you know, a couple of months or a year before the main game came out. Gumball 3000, based on the Gumball Rally that happens in America. How good the game is, I don't know. Gunfighter 2, Revenge of Jesse James. I don't know what the first one was on. It's made by Rebellion, actually. It's a on-rail shooter. Of course, good old spaghetti western thing there. Gottlieb Pinball Classics. A bunch of pinball games from the Gottlieb brand. Gotta love me a good old-fashioned pinball. The original Guitar Hero. Never actually played this one, so I have to see what good songs are on here. Iron Man. Guitar Hero World Tour. You do need a guitar. Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon. Part of the Gundam Versus series, which is a sort of a fight-in version of the game. It's not like Dragon Ball Z Budokai or anything like that. It's more of its own thing. They're okay games. I love me some good old Gundam. I love Gundam. And there's quite a few on PS2. I want to get them all. Rolling, another rollerblade game. I don't know what's better, that or aggressive inline. Roadkill. I think I played this one with my friend actually. I might have actually. I don't know if I did or not. Yeah, it's a sort of a twisted metal style of game. Then we have God of War 1 and 2. Of course, it all began on the PlayStation 2. I played a little bit of the first one. I haven't played the second one yet. God of War was a sort of series that sort of... I liked the series, but I just never really played them that much. Just give me a second. I'm just going to... There we go. A bit more space there. Groove Rider slot car racing. I don't know how you could go about using scale electric cars, but it actually looks kind of interesting actually. How good it is, probably not very good because it's a budget title, but Play It did actually release some pretty good budget titles. You wouldn't believe it. GT Racers, part of the I don't know what series. GT Racers, I believe they're a mix of arcade and simulation. Gungrave, obviously, some people consider this game to be a massive hidden gem. Lots of action and shooting. It's based on an anime, I believe. Yeah, it looks really good, actually. I have to try this one out. There's also a sequel as well. Another copy of Gungriff and Blaze. This was before I found my app that I have on my phone, so... We have Gran Turismo Vice City Stories. Not as good as the original Vice City, but... yeah, still, this was originally a PSP game, so what do you expect? Still, good game. Fruit Machine Mania. Nothing more than some slot machines, I guess. You won't lose any money. Fair Fighter, Vigo's Revenge. Looked like a fun game, but it's not that great. The multiplayer weren't that great, at least. But yeah, still. I believe this was originally, might have been Dreamcast. I could be wrong. Full Spectrum Warrior. It's actually made by Pandemic Studios. Tactical shooter. Of course, Pandemic Studios made the Star Wars Battlefront games, so you know they're good at making some games. Oi! What are you doing? Freedom Fighters. Another really good game that I need to try out. This game's all, meant to be a really good game made by the same people who did Hitman. Or Hitman 2, but this is another game that a lot of people are asking for a remake. Frank Herbert's Dune. This isn't like the other Dune game, which was a real-time strategy game. This is more of an adventure game, not really like the original Dune game. Futurama. This game is actually really sought after in America, but in the UK it's actually pretty easy to find. Whereas in America it's actually kind of hard to find. It's actually about a $50+ game. It's crazy. Based on the show. I like Futurama. I like all of Matt Groening's work, to be honest. Fisherman Challenge. A Konami fishing game. Actually kind of enjoying the fishing on Red Dead, I'll tell you that much. Ford Racing 3. Of course, Ford wanted to throw in their game as well. FIFA 12. The last FIFA game that came out on PS2 was 14, and that's crazy to believe because 14 was on Xbox One. That's a mad to think that it made it to PS2. Final Fantasy 10. Yep, 10. Fighting Fury. Even the front cover looks terrible and looks like a pretty bad fighting game, I guess. Fightbox, this game is terrible. Do not try it. It is absolutely terrible. It had a good idea, but... Fight Club, another terrible game. Really bad. FIFA Football 2003. 2 copies of FIFA Football 2004. If anyone wants it, let me know in the comments. I'll give it away. I don't really care. FIFA 07. FIFA 2005. FIFA Street. I enjoyed the FIFA Street games. They were much better than the normal FIFA games for me. FIFA 06. Fireblade. A helicopter game. Ford Racing 2. I believe the first one was on PlayStation 1. Flipnit. This is a really interesting sort of pinball game, but it has sort of like a story mode to it. So I keep meaning to try this game out because it's meant to be really good. Final Fantasy 12, I believe. Yep. But I don't know what if that's the right disc or not. I don't think that's the right disc. So because that's an American disc, but it says DVD game NTSC bound. So it could be the right disc. PS292. I don't know. Let me know in the comments because I don't think that's the right disc. But let me know in the comments below if that's the right disc. But I've got this game on PS4, so it's not that big problem. Final Fantasy X Part 2. Forgotten Realms, Demon Stone. I don't know if this is part of a Dungeons and Dragons series. The writing looks like it is Dungeons and Dragons. And then last is Flat Out. So, there we have the next part done. I'll try and get the rest done during the week. And we're making good progress, actually. Sorry if I don't do a lot of explanations of each game. I haven't played a bunch of these games, so I can't give you explanation. I'm going to be finishing off Dying Light 2 tonight. Dying Light with my friend tonight. Before starting the Zombie Army 4. We got that game, so we'll be playing that next. I am playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Beat the story now, so I'm just going around and collecting every single item. I've got a really good app on my phone, the Compendium app, which tells me everything I need to know, and getting all of the trinkets and the cards and everything, and doing all of the side missions that I didn't do, the bounties and stuff, and it's really fun actually. I'm kind of enjoying doing that. I might be getting Yakuza Collection next week. I might be, I don't know yet. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and of course comment below. Let me know what you've been playing recently. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, a welcome to all of the new subscribers as always. And as always, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Mad Tiger. If you check out my Twitter, I've got something really cool. I jumped off the top of the signal tower in Dying Light, and I landed in a tiny little hole on the top of the shipping container. It was one of my greatest achievements that I did last night. It was a lot of fun. And of course, feel free to, of course, as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.